Listen, if you're in school and you've got about $4,000 to spend on your first car, you're probably not looking for anything fancy. You want something that starts every morning, gets you where you need to go, and maybe, just maybe, has a little personality. So I dug through Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, basically everywhere people unload cheap cars, and I put together a list of the 10 best first cars for high schoolers under $4,000. These are real cars you can actually find right now depending on where you live. Let's get into it. Number 1, Honda Civic, 7th or 8th generation. If you want a car that will outlive your grandkids, get a Honda Civic, especially the 7th gen, 2001 to 2005, or 8th gen, 2006 to 2011. These things are everywhere, and there's a reason why. They're dead reliable, easy to work on, and get great gas mileage. You'll find them with 200,000 plus miles still running fine. Parts are cheap. Insurance is low, and they've got a solid little community behind them. Even if you don't know anything about cars, a Civic is going to be your best friend. There's also a ton of aftermarket support if you want to make it yours later. The only thing you really got to watch out for is rust in certain areas, or if the owner totally neglected oil changes. Manual or automatic, coupe or sedan, you really can't go wrong. Number 2, Toyota Corolla, 9th gen. Same idea as the Civic, but maybe a little more boring, which is honestly a good thing. The 9th gen Corolla, 2003 to 2008, is like that quiet kid in class who always shows up, does the homework, and never complains. They don't break, they don't use much gas, and you'll probably get bored before the car dies. They're a little softer and more floaty than a Civic, so the driving feel isn't exciting, but it's chill and comfy. If you find one that was owned by someone's grandma, even better. Those are the hidden gems. Low miles, babied their whole lives, and ready to give you a drama-free high school experience. If you just want something that works and don't care about looking cool, this is one of the safest bets out there. Number 3, Mazda III, 2004 to 2009, gives you a lot more personality than a Civic or Corolla. It's more fun to drive, has sharper steering, and just feels a little more dialed in. Plus, the design still holds up. The hatchback version especially has tons of space and makes a great first car if you want to haul your friends a bike or whatever else you got going on. The downside is that they're not quite as reliable long-term as a Civic, especially if the previous owner wasn't on top of maintenance. Rust can also be a problem depending on where you live, but if you find a clean one, this is one of the best, fun, but practical daily drivers in the cheap car world. And if you get one with a manual, it's even more engaging to drive. Number 4, Ford Focus, 2nd generation. If you're in the US, these are seriously underrated. The 2nd gen Ford Focus, 2008 to 2011, was a big step up from the 1st gen in terms of quality and styling. You can still find them dirt cheap, and most of them come with the reliable 2.0 liter Duratec engine. The interiors aren't fancy, but they're functional and they have decent tech for the time. Bluetooth, AUX input, and even USB in some models. The ride is smooth, they're easy to drive, and parts are everywhere. Maintenance is straightforward too. Not the most exciting car, but for a first car, can't complain. It's also a car you can find everywhere, from big cities to small towns. Just stay away from the ones with weird electrical issues. 5, Acura RSX, base model. If you're looking for something a little sporty that still won't break the bank, the base model Acura RSX is a killer choice. These came with a K20 engine and a 5-speed manual or auto, but come on, go manual if you can. They're basically a fancier, sportier Civic, and because it's an Acura, the build quality is a bit better than your average economy car. A clean RSX under $3,000 might be tough, but they're out there, especially if you're okay with higher mileage or some cosmetic flaws. These cars also hold their value better than most others on this list. Just keep an eye on the suspension and make sure the timing chain hasn't been ignored. And if you're into modding, this is a solid platform to start with. 6th Toyota Camry, 6th generation. You probably didn't think Camry and cool first car would ever be in the same sentence, but hear me out. The 2007 to 2011 Camry is one of the most bulletproof sedans ever made. They've got tons of space, a smooth ride, and if you get the 2.4-liter four-cylinder, they're shockingly good on gas. They're also everywhere, which means tons of parts, easy fixes, and low insurance rates. It's not flashy, but it's dependable, comfortable, and honestly, that's what most high schoolers need. Plus, if your parents are helping you buy it, they'll probably love the idea of you in a Camry. It's safe, mellow, and mature, but still capable of lasting forever. Some of them even come with leather and heated seats if you're lucky. 7. Hyundai Elantra, 2007 to 2012. Don't sleep on these. The 4th generation Hyundai Elantra is cheap, modern looking, and surprisingly reliable for the price. Hyundai really stepped up their game in the late 2000s, and the Elantra is proof. You can find one of these with decent mileage and working AC for way under $3,000. They've got a smooth ride, decent interior space, and they're easy on gas. They're also not on every teenager's radar, which means less competition when you're shopping. Just do your due diligence on the maintenance history, because some of them were treated like total beaters. But if you find one that's been cared for, it's a steal. 8. Pontiac Vibe Toyota Matrix, 1st generation. These are basically the same car under the skin. Toyota Reliability GM badge. The 1st gen Vibe and Matrix, 2003 to 2008, are super versatile little hatchbacks with tons of cargo space, surprisingly good gas mileage, and Toyota's legendary 1ZZ engine. The Vibe GT and Matrix XRS even had a higher revving 180 horsepower 2ZZ engine if you want something more fun, but those are harder to find cheap. Go for the base models and you've still got a super practical, ultra reliable first car that doesn't look completely lame. Bonus points if you get one with a manual. They're also sleeper wagons. You'll fit way more in one of these than any sedan on this list. 9. Saturn Ion, 2003 to 2007. Now, I know this one might raise some eyebrows, but hear me out. The Saturn Ion isn't pretty, and the interior is weird with that center-mounted gauge cluster, but it's actually a solid car for the money. GM built these things to be cheap, simple, and durable. The 2.2-liter Ecotec engine is pretty robust, parts are easy to find, and because they're so unloved, you can score one for way less than $3,000, like $1,500 all day, if you just need something to get you to school and back. This might be one of the best bangs for your buck out there. Plus, if you're mechanically inclined, it's a great car to learn on. Not glamorous, but dependable. Just try to get one with lower mileage and no major warning lights on. 10. Volvo S40, 2004 to 2011. Last one on the list, and it's a little different. The 2nd gen Volvo S40 is kind of like that quiet, artsy kid who wears thrifted clothes but secretly has really expensive taste. These things are way more comfortable and well built than you'd expect in this price range. The interiors feel upscale, the ride is smooth, and the safety is next level, which is great if your parents are worried about you driving. They're not as cheap to fix as a Civic or Corolla, but they're not as bad as you think either. If you can find one that's been maintained well, you'll get a car that feels way more premium than anything else on this list. Just be careful with the turbocharged models. Stick with the base 2.4 II if you want fewer headaches. It's a car that'll surprise you in the best way. All right, that's the list. 10 solid cars you can actually buy right now for under $3,000. None of these are going to win any races or turn every head in the parking lot, but that's not the point. You want something reliable, cheap to fix, and maybe even a little fun, and every car on this list checks those boxes. Just remember, buying a used car is all about condition. A well-maintained, boring car will always beat a neglected, cool one. So do your homework, get it checked if you can, and don't rush into something just because it looks good in photos. If you found this helpful, drop a like, maybe share it with a friend who's car shopping, and let me know in the comments what you're driving or what your first car was. I'll catch you in the next one.